Welcome to a deep dive
Yeah?
into something I think you'll find incredibly fascinating,
Mhm.
using ancient wisdom
Yeah,
to conquer
right.
modern-day stress.
Absolutely.
We're about to unpack an article called Seven Stoic Principles to Help with Stressful Times.
Okay.
And trust me, this isn't just some dusty philosophy lecture.
Right.
We're talking about practical tools
Yes.
that can make a real difference in your life.
What's so intriguing about Stoicism
Right.
is that it emerged during the Roman Empire,
Oh, wow.
a
Yeah,
time of intense upheaval and uncertainty.
I see.
Yet these principles
Yeah?
are incredibly relevant today, maybe even more so,
Yeah.
given the constant pressures we face.
It's like these Stoic
Mhm.
philosophers were time travelers
Yeah.
who left us a guidebook for
Exactly.
dealing with 21st century problems.
Yeah.
And the best part is,
Okay.
it's not about becoming some emotionless robot.
That's right.
It's about understanding how our minds work
Ex-
and using that knowledge to live better,
yes.
more fulfilling lives.
It's about cultivating a mindset
Yeah.
that allows you to navigate challenges with resilience and even find meaning in them.
So buckle up,
Right.
because we're about to explore some seriously cool concepts,
Okay.
from cold showers as mental training
Yeah.
to why social media might actually be the opposite
Right.
of what the Stoics were all about.
And you might be surprised to learn
Okay.
how fictional heroes can become your secret weapon against stress.
Oh.
Are you ready to dive in?
Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Starting with principle number 1,
Okay.
choosing your heart.
All right.
Now, this might sound a bit counterintuitive, right?
It might.
Why would we willingly choose to do something difficult?
Well, the Stoics believe that voluntarily embracing discomfort was a way to build mental toughness.
Interesting.
They understood that life is full of challenges,
Right.
so why not prepare for them by intentionally putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations?
That's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
But I have to admit,
Okay.
the thought of taking a cold shower on purpose
Yeah.
makes me want to hide under the covers.
Right.
But I guess there's something to be said
Mm-hmm.
for pushing your boundaries,
Yeah.
right? It's like that old saying,
Yeah.
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger,
Yes.
but with a more philosophical spin.
The Stoics weren't just talking about physical discomfort either.
Oh, okay.
They believed in challenging yourself mentally and emotionally as well.
So what would that look like
Mm-hmm.
for someone today?
Okay.
Besides the cold showers, of course.
Think about a task
Mm.
you've been putting off
Okay.
because it's mentally draining
Yeah.
or emotionally challenging.
Okay.
Maybe it's having a difficult conversation,
Oh, right.
confronting a fear,
Yeah.
or simply tackling a project
Mm.
that feels overwhelming.
Right.
That's choosing your heart.
That's a great point. I know I'm definitely guilty
Yeah.
of procrastinating on things
Yes.
that make me uncomfortable,
Uh-huh.
but I never really thought of it as a way to build mental strength.
And here's what's fascinating.
Okay.
Modern psychology supports this idea.
Oh, wow.
Research has shown that exposing yourself to controlled amounts of stress
Really?
can actually increase your resilience, improve your ability to focus,
Okay.
and even boost your creativity.
So by choosing to do the hard things, we're actually training our brains
Yes.
to be more adaptable and less reactive to stress
Uh-huh.
in all areas of our lives.
That's right.
It's like a mental boot camp.
Precisely. And the more we practice choosing our heart,
Yeah.
the more we realize that we're capable of handling
Right.
far more than we initially thought.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could be really empowering.
Yes.
But you know what's not exactly a mental boot camp?
What's that?
Scrolling through social media for hours.
Right.
Which brings us to principle number 2.
Ah.
Reducing inputs. I have a feeling this is something we could all benefit from.
Absolutely. The Stoics,
Yeah.
particularly Seneca,
Yeah.
emphasize the importance of being mindful
Right.
of the information we allow into our minds
Mm-hmm.
in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
That meant withdrawing from the crowds
Yeah.
and seeking solitude.
So true.
Today,
Yeah.
it means being selective about what we consume,
Okay.
online and offline.
I could see how that's even more relevant now
Yes.
with the constant barrage of notifications, news updates,
Yeah.
and social media posts.
Right.
It's like our brains are being bombarded
Yeah.
with information 24/7.
And not all of that information is
Yeah.
beneficial. In
Yeah.
fact, a lot of it is designed
Yeah.
to trigger our anxieties
Oh, yeah.
and keep us hooked
Right.
on a cycle of outrage and comparison.
Have you ever noticed how you feel after spending an hour scrolling through social media?
Oh, yeah.
For me, it's rarely a feeling of calm and contentment. It's more like a jumble of anxiety envy
Yes.
and this nagging sense that I'm not doing enough.
That's because social media often presents a distorted view of reality.
Yeah.
It's a highlight reel of everyone else's seemingly perfect lives,
Oh, yeah.
which can make us feel inadequate and stressed out.
So what's the Stoic solution to this modern-day dilemma?
Right.
Do we need to ditch our phones and move to a remote cabin in the woods?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Reducing inputs is about making conscious choices about what we allow into our minds.
Right.
It could be as simple as setting limits on social media use,
Okay.
unsubscribing from email lists that clutter our inboxes,
Yeah.
or being more selective about the news we consume.
I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
We have more control
Yeah,
over our information intake than we often realize.
that's right.
We can choose to focus on what's truly important
Mm-hmm.
and tune out the noise that's draining our energy and stealing our peace of mind.
Exactly. And it's not about becoming hermits or isolating ourselves from the world.
Right.
It's about creating space for quiet reflection,
Yeah.
for connecting with ourselves and with what truly matters.
Okay, I'm feeling a little calmer already.
Good.
But now we're about to explore a Stoic principle.
Yes.
That might sound a little bit scary.
Oh.
Negative visualization.
Oh, okay.
Tell me, have you ever tried this?
I have, and I
Yeah,
think it's one
yeah.
of the most powerful tools
Okay.
Stoicism offers.
Right.
It's not about being pessimistic or dwelling on negativity.
Right.
It's about mentally preparing yourself
Okay.
for the challenges that life inevitably throws your way.
I have to admit,
Okay.
the idea of intentionally imagining things going wrong
Yeah.
feels a bit,
Okay.
well, wrong.
Okay.
Isn't that just setting yourself up for failure?
Not at all. Think of it like a mental fire drill.
Okay.
We practice what to do in case of an emergency
Mm-hmm.
so that if a fire does break out,
Yeah.
we can respond calmly and effectively. Negative visualization is similar.
Right.
By mentally rehearsing for potential setbacks,
Yeah.
we reduce their power to surprise and overwhelm us.
So instead of being blindsided by a problem,
Yeah.
we've already mentally walked through it
Uh-huh.
and considered possible solutions.
Exactly. Let's say you have a big presentation coming up.
Okay.
Instead of trying to ignore the nerves, you could spend a few minutes
Okay.
visualizing things that could go wrong.
Okay.
Technical difficulties for getting your notes.
Yeah.
Tough questions from the audience.
Right.
By mentally preparing for these scenarios, you're less likely to panic if they actually happen.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this could be helpful.
Yeah,
It's almost like taking away the fear of the unknown, right?
precisely. And here's another interesting
Okay.
aspect of negative visualization.
Yeah.
It can help us appreciate what we have
Oh,
by contemplating the potential loss of things we value.
interesting.
We can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude for them in the present moment.
That's a really powerful point.
Yeah.
I think we often take things for granted
Yeah.
until we're faced with the possibility of losing them.
And by acknowledging that setbacks are a natural part of life,
Yeah.
we can shift our perspective.
Right.
We can learn to see challenges not as personal attacks or signs of failure,
Right.
but as opportunities for growth and learning.
Wow. That's a huge shift in mindset.
It is.
So it's not about avoiding challenges.
Right.
It's about changing how we respond to them.
Exactly. And that brings us to another key Stoic principle.
Okay.
Reframing perspective.
Okay.
The Stoics believe that it's not the events themselves that
Yeah.
cause us stress,
Right.
but our thoughts about those events.
Okay.
As Epictetus famously said,
Okay.
it is not things that upset us,
Right.
but our judgment about these things.
That quote really hits home.
Yes.
So it's not the traffic jam that's making me stressed.
Right.
It's my belief that I shouldn't be stuck in traffic,
That's right.
that I should be somewhere else by now.
Precisely our interpretations of events
Wow.
are what trigger our emotional responses.
Oh.
So if we can learn to reframe our perspective,
Okay.
we can change how we feel.
So how do we put this into practice?
Mm-hmm.
How do we reframe a situation that's genuinely stressful?
Let's say you receive some negative feedback at work.
Okay.
Instead of seeing it as a personal attack
Right.
or a sign of failure, you could reframe it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
Okay.
You could focus on the specific points of feedback that are constructive
Right.
and use them to improve your skills.
So instead of getting defensive
Yeah.
or feeling defeated, we can use challenges as fuel for self-improvement.
Exactly. It's about focusing on what you can control.
Yeah.
Your attitude, your effort, and your willingness to learn.
Okay, I'm really starting to see how these Stoic principles can be applied to everyday situations. It's like they're giving us a new set of lenses
Yes.
through which to view the world.
And that's what's so brilliant about Stoicism.
Right.
It's not about denying reality or pretending that everything is always positive.
Right.
It's about choosing to focus on what we can control and finding ways to grow and learn from every experience.
All right. I'm feeling empowered.
Good.
But sometimes we need a little extra inspiration
Yes.
to stay on track.
Okay.
Which brings us to principle number 5.
Right.
Virtue modeling. Do you have any personal heroes or role models
I do. Oh,
who
wow.
embody the Stoic virtues?
And it might surprise you to hear
Okay.
that some of my greatest role models are fictional characters.
Oh, wow.
Characters like Hermione Granger from Harry Potter,
Oh, okay.
Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games,
Yeah.
and even Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Interesting.
They all face incredible challenges,
Mm-hmm.
but they never compromise their values.
Yeah.
They embody courage, compassion,
Right.
and a commitment to justice. I love that you mentioned fictional characters.
Yeah.
I think we often dismiss them as just entertainment,
Right.
but they can be incredibly powerful sources of inspiration.
Totally. And you know what's interesting?
What's that?
The author of the article we're discussing
Mm-hmm.
also uses fictional characters as his role models.
Oh, really?
He mentions Aragorn and Sam from Lord of the Rings.
That's a fantastic example.
Yeah.
They both face incredible hardship and temptation,
Right.
but they remain steadfast in their loyalty, courage, and commitment to the greater good.
And I think that's a key aspect of virtue modeling.
Yeah.
It's not about finding perfect people to emulate.
Right.
It's about identifying the qualities we admire in others and using them as guideposts for our own actions.
Exactly. And the Stoics believed that.
Yeah.
By contemplating the lives of virtuous individuals,
Yep.
we could inspire ourselves to live more virtuously. It's like having a mental mentor,
Right.
someone who reminds us of what's possible.
This is making me want to create my own personal Hall of Fame of inspiring figures.
That's a good idea.
But there's one Stoic principle that I struggle with
Oh,
more than others,
okay.
and that's letting others be wrong. I have to admit, I can be a bit of a know-it-all sometimes.
I think we all have that tendency to some extent.
Yeah.
It's natural to want to be right
Right.
and to defend our beliefs.
Yeah.
But as Marcus Aurelius wisely said,
Okay.
you always have the option of having no opinion.
Wait, so you're saying I should just let people walk all over me?
No.
that's
And
all.
never stand up for what I believe in. Not at all. It's not about being passive
Okay.
or allowing yourself to be mistreated.
Yeah.
It's about choosing your battles wisely
Okay.
and recognizing that not every disagreement
Yeah.
needs to be a fight to the death.
So it's about discerning which battles are worth fighting
That's right.
and which ones are better left alone.
Exactly. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to simply walk away from an argument
Yeah.
that's going nowhere.
Right.
It's about preserving your own mental energy
Okay.
and not letting someone else's negativity drag you down.
Okay. I'm starting to see the wisdom in that.
Yeah,
But how do we know which battles are worth fighting?
right.
And how do we let go of the need to be right all the time?
It takes practice, but one way to start
Yeah.
is to ask yourself a few questions
Okay.
before engaging in an argument.
Okay.
Is this issue truly important to me?
Oh,
Is
so-
this the right time and place
Hmm.
to have this discussion? And most importantly,
Yeah.
is this person open to hearing my perspective?
Okay.
If the answer to any of those questions is no,
Right.
it might be best to simply let it go.
That's such a helpful framework.
Yeah.
And what's interesting?
What's that?
I think social media has made it even harder
Oh.
to let others be wrong.
Uh-huh.
It feels like everyone is constantly trying to prove their point
Mm-hmm.
and shut down opposing viewpoints.
That's a great observation, and that's why it's so important to
Mhm.
cultivate the Stoic virtue of patience.
Right.
It's about recognizing that people have different perspectives.
Yeah.
And that not everyone is going to agree with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Okay. I'm feeling a little less argumentative already,
Good.
but now we're moving on to our final Stoic principle
Okay.
for this deep dive,
All right.
and it's a classic journaling for clarity.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever kept a journal?
I have, and I find it to be
Right.
an incredibly valuable tool for self-reflection
Yeah.
and processing emotions.
Right.
It's like having a conversation with yourself on paper.
I have to admit,
Okay.
I've always been a bit intimidated by journaling.
Really?
I always feel like I have to write something profound or insightful, but maybe it's more about just getting the thoughts out of my head and onto the page.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong way to journal.
Okay.
It's simply about creating a space for yourself to explore your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
And I think that's especially important in today's world,
Yeah.
where we're constantly bombarded with external stimuli.
Right.
Journaling gives us a chance to tune out the noise and connect with our inner world.
Precisely. And
Yeah.
it can be a powerful tool
Yeah.
for identifying patterns in our thinking,
Okay.
processing challenging emotions,
Right.
and gaining clarity on our values and goals.
I'm starting to see how journaling could be
Yeah.
a really helpful complement to all of the other Stoic principles we've been discussing.
Absolutely. It's a way to put those principles into practice,
Right.
to reflect on how we're applying them in our lives,
Yeah.
and to identify areas where we can continue to grow.
You know what's really striking to me
Yeah.
is how relevant these Stoic principles are to our lives today, even though they were developed centuries ago.
It's a testament to the enduring power of these ideas.
Right.
They speak to something fundamental about the human experience, about our desire to find meaning and purpose
Right.
in the midst of challenge and uncertainty.
And then it's not just about enduring hardship, is it?
It's not.
It's about living a more fulfilling and meaningful life,
Yes.
no matter what obstacles we face.
Exactly. The Stoics weren't just about gritting their teeth and bearing it.
Okay.
They were about cultivating a life of virtue, wisdom, and tranquility.
Right.
And that's something we can all aspire to, no
Yeah.
matter what our circumstances may be.
Okay. Feeling inspired and a lot less stressed.
That's great.
But, you know, as we were talking about all these amazing Stoic principles, a question popped into my mind.
Oh, okay, what is it?
We focused a lot on how Stoicism can help us deal with
Yeah.
stress and difficult emotions.
Right.
But what about using Stoicism to achieve our goals? Is there a Stoic approach to, say, success or ambition?
That's a great question. It seems like Stoicism is more about inner peace than outward achievement. Yeah.
Does that mean we have to give up on our dreams
Yeah.
if we want to be true Stoics?
Not at all. Stoicism can actually be a powerful ally in pursuing your goals.
I see.
The key is to approach ambition with a Stoic mindset.
So how does that look in practice? How do you set goals and strive for success without getting caught up in the emotional roller coaster of wins and losses?
One of the core principles of Stoicism is focusing on what you can control when it comes to goals. That means focusing on your effort and your actions, not on the outcome.
So instead of obsessing over whether you'll get the promotion or win the competition, you focus on doing your best work and honing your skills.
Exactly. The Stoics believe that true success lies in living virtuously, in aligning your actions with your values. So if you're pursuing a goal that's in line with your values, and you're putting in the effort with integrity and perseverance,
then you're already succeeding in a Stoic sense, regardless of the external outcome.
That's a really different way of looking at success.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off needing to achieve a specific result and allows you to focus on the journey itself.
And that's where the Stoic virtue of acceptance comes in. The Stoics understood that we don't have control over everything in life. There will be setbacks, obstacles, and sometimes despite our best efforts, things just won't go our way.
So how do you deal with those disappointments without getting discouraged or giving up on your dreams?
By accepting that setbacks are a natural part of life and using them as opportunities for growth and learning. The Stoics believe that every challenge presents a chance to practice virtue, to strengthen our resilience, and to become wiser.
So it's about shifting your perspective from seeing failure as a personal defeat to seeing it as a stepping stone on the path to success.
Exactly. And that's where negative visualization can be incredibly helpful. By mentally preparing for potential obstacles. You can reduce their power to derail you when they inevitably arise.
So instead of being blindsided by a setback, you've already mentally rehearsed for it.
Yeah.
And consider possible solutions.
Precisely. And this allows you to approach your goals
Okay.
with a sense of calm and equanimity,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you can handle whatever challenges come your way.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to goal setting.
Good.
I think I've been so focused on the end result that I've neglected the importance of the journey itself.
And that's where Stoicism can be truly transformative.
Right.
It's not about denying our ambitions or settling for mediocrity.
Yeah.
It's about pursuing our goals with wisdom, integrity,
Right.
and a deep understanding that true fulfillment comes from living virtuously, not from external achievements.
Wow. This has been such an eye-opening deep dive into Stoicism.
Good.
I feel like I have a whole new toolbox for navigating the ups and downs of life.
Right.
From managing stress to pursuing my dreams with a sense of purpose and resilience.
And remember, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to read about.
Right.
It's a way of life.
Right.
A practice that requires ongoing effort and reflection.
So how can our listeners continue to explore Stoicism and integrate these principles into their daily lives?
There are so many wonderful resources available.
Right.
Start by reading the full article that inspired this deep dive.
Okay.
Explore the writings of Stoic philosophers like Epictetus Seneca and Marcus Aurelius.
Right.
There are also some fantastic books and podcasts that offer modern interpretations of Stoicism and practical tips for applying these principles to our modern lives.
And don't forget the power of community.
Oh, that's a good point.
Connect with other people who are interested in Stoicism. Join a book club. Attend a workshop.
Yeah.
Or simply start a conversation with a friend or family member about the things you've learned.
The Stoic journey is not a solitary one.
Yeah.
It's about supporting each other, sharing our insights, and learning from one another's experiences.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this incredible deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
On this exploration of Stoicism.
Yes.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and tools for living a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
And remember, the Stoic journey is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
Be patient with yourself. Keep practicing these principles.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to seek out support and guidance along the way.
Until next time, may you find wisdom in your choices.
Yes.
Resilience in the face of challenges, and peace in your heart.